story is rather long and has been repeated very often. I'll try and make it a little shorter. I've been with our family business for around 20 years. My husband and I started the business together soon after we got married. We did well. The business flourishes. I got bored. After 20 years of handling the administration, handling the hiring and firing of the company, there would often be times when my response to a situation from my instinct and from my heart would be different. But my training as a businesswoman would make me respond in a different way. I have caught myself saying at times, just because your child is sick, you can't stay away from work for 6 days. You have a responsibility here, and you know the work suffers if you don't come. This happened once or twice, and the conviction grew in me that what I'm doing is not right for me. I'm sure there are better ways of doing what I was doing, but I didn't know it. I felt I had to step out of what I am doing in order to go back to the kind of person that I used to be once upon a time, and also to be able to honestly react to situations like my heart told me to, instead of feeling very, very constricted by the responsibility which I felt was mine. So I slowly retired from work. It put a large space in my life, from going 9 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the office. Suddenly I'm not going. And there is so much time. And I heard Shabnam sing at that time. Kabir was nowhere in my life. He was out of my horizon. Class 8, I was done with the 2-mark dohas that I had written. Probably got good marks, I don't remember. But I was done with him. And when I heard Shabnam sing in Bangalore, I asked her, what is this you're singing? I've never heard this kind of music before. And she said, I'm singing Kabir, and I'm singing in the Malwa folk style. And that was like, wow. I consider myself to be an educated, open person. I know things that go around everywhere. And I don't even know about the existence of Kabir poetry, which has been converted into music. And I don't know folk music can be so powerful. So, fascinated by this music, came to Pune to attend the Kabir festival that happened here in 2009. Went to Baroda to attend a Kabir festival. Went to Malwa. We have a yatra every year that happens. And it's sort of, it's very wily, this thing that we have. It sort of crawls inside you and it stays inside you. And we invited Shabnam to our home for a satsang. And we got so many people for the satsang. Couldn't believe. Most other people knew about Shabnam, and I had only newly been introduced to her. And so after the satsang was over, I asked Shabnam, why don't you organize a festival in Mumbai? Like we've become such robots here. We need something like this to shake us awake. And she said, we don't have the resources to do festivals. And I said, haven't festivals happened in Mumbai before? She said, Mumbaiites are too busy. Nobody has the time to go around and organize a festival. And I don't know, in a moment of sheer idiocy, I think, I put up my hand and said, I'll do it. I was free. I had lots of time. I had no idea that organizing a festival can be really difficult. I had no clue. So I just put my hand up and said it. I hopped around the room, announced that. I think by now all of you might be familiar that I can hop at times. So I announced it to the whole room, I'm going to do this. And then there was total silence from Shabnam's side after she left. This was in February. Around July, I wrote to her saying, Shabnam, I haven't heard anything from you. These are the dates during which we are planning the festival. I hope you're taking me seriously. And I think she just responded, yeah, I'll block the dates for you, but there wasn't much conviction in her email. And so I got in touch with Rakesh, who used to live in Pune at this time. He had organized the Kabir festival in Pune, and he was brilliant. He held my hand all throughout. He introduced me to people in Mumbai. He said, you have no idea, there are other people who are interested in this. He introduced me to a lot of people who are doing work with NGOs, with peace, with harmony, with community service. And like I said, all throughout, I've repeated this so many times, but I have to say it again. It just seemed as if the universe started conspiring to help this idiot who has made such a large commitment. And people just came forward. Soon we had an organizing committee of around 16 people, and I was a coordinator because I had taken the entire responsibility and actually didn't know what to do. I just knew, okay, Pralaji is good, Mutyaji is good, Muralalaji is good, and Shabnam, of course, she has to come, she has to guide me through this. Somebody introduced us to Mahindra, and within around 10 days of starting to look for sponsors, we had like full sponsorship. They just told us, you just write down your budget and you tell us how much you want. Oh, I don't know how much it costs to rent a mic, and I don't know how much an auditorium costs. I have no clue how much I'm supposed to pay the artists. So somebody gave me a format of a budget for some festival that had been held in 2006. So I said, okay, I have the headings, and I still don't know how much the right side, the figures on the right column should be. So I added all of that. I added a 1 lakh here, 2 lakhs here, 3 lakhs here. I said, I just have to make, Mahindra's mandate was that ask for whatever you want. But once the festival is over, you cannot say we ran short. So I said, okay, I'll just ask for more. Right? In case it's left over, we can always give it back to them. So I added a lakh here, a lakh there, 2 lakhs here, and I made a budget of around 19 lakhs. By the time a couple of other people had come forward, so we had 2 lakhs from other sources. So I asked Mahindra for 17 lakhs. They deducted the TDS and gave me 17 lakhs. And the journey began. Innumerable number of people came forward to volunteer, to cooperate, to help. And we had a lot of money, right? We had so much money, we wouldn't know what to do with it. So we booked all the artists in the best of hotels. We took them to restaurants. We said, this is going to be an experience to remember even for the artists. So we took them to really nice restaurants. The day after, the first festival was a 10-day festival. We had, since we had connected to a lot of NGOs, we had a week of events with schools, with colleges, with NGOs. We went out to communities, we screened films, we took classical music to them, we had classical musicians coming from places, we had folk musicians coming from places, and then we had these 3 days of public events. The only bottom line was, none of the events will have a ticket. Everything will be free, everything will be open for all. Try and have as many events in the open as possible. Auditoriums can be slightly scary for people who come from hutments or people who come from fishermen's colony. They'll not walk into an auditorium, even though they know there is no ticket to this. So we had a lot of events that were free, that were held at the crossroads of places, that were held in open maidans. And the festival went off very well. At the end of the festival, we had 2 lakh rupees left over, so called up Mahindras and told them, we have 2 lakh rupees left over, can we give it back? And they said, we never heard anything like this. We don't know what to do. I mean, we don't know how to settle it in our accounts if you give us that money back. And so they said, keep it, use it for the next festival. And if you don't do a next festival, then we'll figure something out. So, all right. The time for the next festival. In the meantime, we had started inviting the artists to our homes for satsangs, for workshops, thinking that what we got during the festival was too precious to be like a once-a-year entertainment, you know, like boom, you have an entertainment and then everything fizzles out. And those small interactions became very important. A lot of people came and joined us. They gave us their email IDs. They said they wanted to be part of the group. And so the word spread, like a ripple effect, it spread. Okay, now we are coming to the second festival. And I thought there's not much value in a festival. It's too large and it's too noisy, and you need a lot of money. And let's just carry forward with this satsangs and the workshops, smaller events that you're doing, where you can sit like this with a musician. You get to talk to him. You get to understand what he understands of the poetry. But popular demand, lots of youngsters came forward and said, we would never have heard about Kabir if we had not attended the festival. Well, sort of sounded like me. So I said, all right, we'll do the festival. Went back to Mahindra. This year we don't have funds. Oops, we're running rather late. Not particularly wanting to do the festival, but there's a lot of pressure to do the festival from people who had enjoyed the festival tremendously during the first time. So suddenly, let's turn this into a community event. Let's see what happens. If this festival is meant to happen, we will get funds for it. And whatever funds we get, we will use those funds and let the festival be so small or so large, depending upon what we get. So because of all these monthly events that we had a mailing list of around 200 people. We sent out a mail to all of them saying, well, we're proposing having the Kabir festival once again. This time we want to make it a community event. We invite you to come forward and contribute whatever you want to. People contributed between 1,500, that was the minimum, and 1 lakh. And we had enough money to do the festival in a small way. It was a 3-day festival, but the best part of the festival was we accommodated artists in people's homes. We did not put them into a hotel. We had people who came forward and said, here's my SUV with a driver, just keep it for 4 days. Oh, I don't have a driver, I can just give you a car. So they said, okay, we can afford to hire a driver. And people came forward like this. There's a restaurant called Village. They said, we can provide food for all the artists, just tell us how many people and where. Just give us the entire table and we'll provide the food. So it became such a large community event that it felt like a blessing. The festival was relatively smaller. It was a 3-day festival. We had 15 events, again spread out all over Mumbai. We have never had all events in one place. It has been like, if the audience cannot come to the events, we'll take the events to the audience. And the festival was great. Now we're planning the 3rd festival. This time we have started planning a little in advance. We had an organization called NSPA, which came forward and said, would you like us to sponsor your festival? That was, oh my goodness, so tempting. But the community aspect of it was too precious to let go. And so we said, all right, since you're doing good work and we feel what you're doing is very close to what we are doing, you can give us 50% of the money. And we decided to keep the other half of the finances for community. So again, now we have a mailing list of around 800 people. Again, mails went out to all people saying, all right, we have a co-sponsor. And for the other half, we have committed that it will be community funds. Please come forward. And till the day I came here, almost every day, I get a check. Maybe in 2 days I get a check. Sometimes it's 1,000, sometimes it's 20,000. And that is a pleasure. You know, that so many people are coming forward to say, we believe in what you're doing. We believe what you're doing is important. And we wish to be a part of it. We sent out a mail for volunteers. And that was the day I was supposed to come to Pune. And mails just started pouring in. I just couldn't get off the chair. I was just busy replying to all of them because where volunteerism is concerned, one lesson I have learned. Utilize the volunteer to the full. When a person volunteers, they're in that space where they want to do something. At that time, if they don't get the kind of response or the kind of work that will give them like a proper chunk of satisfaction, you've lost the volunteer. So it is very important to reply to them immediately, to welcome them to the festival, and either immediately allocate tasks. Okay, get cracking, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. Or make sure they know that we'll be getting back to them in 2 or 3 days. Now the challenge here is, how long can we keep it a community event? As the festival becomes better known, we have more and more organizations coming forward. In the last organizing committee meeting we had, festival for the last 3 years. And he said, I know the CEO of Marico Industries. Just tell me what you want and I shall ask him to give it. I said, what do you mean by that? So he said, do you want them to come on as co-sponsors? 5 lakhs, they can give. I said, no, we don't need it. We're doing fine. We could do with another lakh or so. But the way the checks are coming in, it doesn't matter. 20,000 is taraf, us taraf. It really doesn't matter. And that's what we have to hang on to. That's what we have to hang on to learn to say we have enough. There are proposals to collect enough money so that we have enough funds for 3 years of festivals. And I think that is the challenge. To be able to say, I have enough. I don't want any more just now. And when I want, I should ask, and I'm sure somebody will come forward. And that has happened consistently all throughout these years. And I think the music of Kabir, sung, when it is sung by you, not only heard, you have to sing it to actually feel it. एक एहसास होता है अंदर कि when I sing this, something moves inside me, something shifts inside me. And coupled with the experiences that I've had during the festival, I think have changed my life. I thank you all for listening to me so nicely. Thank you.